Everybody, welcome back to another episode of whatever this is called, an impromptu episode. We're the podcasts that we like to pee on newspapers too. So I am Scott Taylor, as always, here with Mr. Steven Garcia. Steve, are you ready to break down in our own terms? Not really break down, but probably complain about the Supergirl trailer.
Review. Yeah, I get all my pee on the newspaper. Let's just get that out there. Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. What'd you think? Talk to me.
It's so the pee on the paper threw me off first. At first, I went, the gag of it. You know what I mean? Like it maybe that's what took me out right away. We've talked about Superman a lot this summer and this year, on all the episodes and their Superman watch and the trailer. First review that we did, I think, was the Superman trailer.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Superman a lot and how we love it. I'm gonna see it. That's the best thing I can say is I'm gonna see it. Am I gonna see it opening weekend? That'll depend on other factors other than the quality of the film itself. Like, it's not my drive to see it opening weekend. At this point, what about you? What's your first thought?
My first initial thoughts were that, like you, I think the dog is what kind of took me out of the Superman movie. Not took me out, but it just was my least favorite part. I mean, there's a lot of least favorite parts in that movie, but dog just doesn't do it for me. And so knowing that it's going to be a big part of this film is just like, okay. Initially watching this thing, I think I texted you. I think I've just aged out of the Superman universe. I mean, not to say that it doesn't look nice or maybe it has some potential. I think Lobo's in there. I think that looks good. I think Millie Alcock, she looks great, and the costume looks great, and all the other things look great. I think this just doesn't. It just doesn't really. It just screams kind of Guardian of the Galaxy to me. And I know that James Gunn isn't directing this, or he didn't write this at all, but it kind of has that vibe. And I don't know. I'm just not really big on the Superman right now. Like I said in the Superman review, I think the Superman was okay, but it just wasn't it. If I can reiterate what I said, which was, I think it has a lot of the problems that the MCU had, which is thin on plot. So let's just get a lot of people in there and fight. And then in the fight, that'll give Superman some kind of redeeming arc or whatever it is, the story points. I hope it's not like this. I hope it's not like that. I hope there's a story. I don't know. I mean, initially, I know that's kind of all over the place, but initially I couldn't pinpoint exactly what it is that kind of rubbed me the wrong. I think it was just the dog. The dog just kind of takes it. Just I don't know. So I'll get my thoughts coherent here in a bit, but I don't know. I just wasn't too excited.
Yeah, you brought up a point that I want to dive in a little deeper on, and that's the Guardians of the Galaxy space appearance of every space movie. Now, it used to be old man talking. It used to be that movies had their own looks, right? And you had visually that they looked differently. And space movies, you had all different types. You kind of went from Star Wars, that was kind of the used future look, like everything looked kind of used. You went to Alien, which is all industrial, right? Very shiny industrial type stuff, metal everywhere. Total Recall was kind of corporate sci-fi, right? Then you went on to like Battlestar Galactica and Serenity that were more gritty military realism to them. And then you went to Guardians, which was beautiful, cosmic, looks great. But it feels like so many space movies are just, Control C, Control V of Guardians, of how it looked before and what it's supposed to look like when you go to a desolate planet, a planet with other types of beings on it, or just on a spaceship.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I think I was thinking about that. Let's see, what was it? It was right after I saw it this morning, and I was thinking that There's not a lot of movies nowadays, especially in the superhero genre, that really kind of take on their own style. I think that's a big part of Marvel's problem too, is that they kind of rely on the same look, the same type of acting, the same type of score. I think with this and James Gunn and the Superman movies, he does this thing where he relies on pop music of now or wherever, not now, but like of our generation. And it just kind of seems to rely on the same things, you know. And I think that was probably another one of the things about the Superman movie was that it was just kind of this. It relied on this punk rock ethos, you know, you know, I am who I am. That's this kind of thing. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a great. That's the thing. I think that's the thing I probably couldn't articulate earlier was just this idea that like, yeah, I mean, it looks good. It looks okay.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks like I've seen it before,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
I mean
exactly.
that's
And
it. Like I can love the character, but if I've seen the environment and the universe before,
mhm.
there's not a lot to draw me back to that you know, nest.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure because she looks great in the role. I mean, just from the
Hmm.
few lines that she spouts in the trailer, like she looks fine. It looks like she's, you know. Another question is, you know, can she carry it? Can she carry the film and not have maybe crypto doing all the heavy lifting or anything like that?
Mm.
You know, like. But it's just, yeah. I think that's it. I think you nailed it. I think it's just we're just kind of tired of the same look and the same kind of aesthetic and the same kind of feel in the movie. And it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, I'm still. I want something edgier. I want something like not edgy to the point where you're alienating fans, but something that's really, I don't know, not philosophical, something to do morals, maybe. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's the thing that I have with the Star Trek movies. The newer Star Trek movies were great, but then when I look back and I watch the old ones, or I watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, you start to realize that oh, the new Star Treks are more action and more this and the older Star Trek had a lot more of this kind of philosophical approach to a lot of the issues that came up in those episodes or those movies. And I think that that's what's missing from these two Superman things or these Marvel Superman or superhero movies now, is that that's what's missing is this kind of thing of making their own kind of movie to kind of highlight their morality in certain situations. And I don't know. You just don't get that anymore. You get more of just like I said. Let's just get a lot of people in the film. Let's have them
Mhm.
fight each other or something else, and then that will be the story beats. That will make up for the story beats. And it's like I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of that, I suppose.
Yeah, I want to stress that it's not because it's Supergirl
Well,
and
yeah,
not Superman, right? Because it's
right,
really easy as a dude to go, "Oh, I don't like this. This doesn't represent me."
yeah,
It's easy to have that bias, and it's sad that we do, but a lot of times it does come out.
yeah,
I
and
don't think that's it because you and I both love comics.
yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
happy to see any comic movie out there. I once saw Captain Marvel in the theaters, like
Hmm.
because I was like, oh look, it's set in the
Yeah,
90s or whatever, like that
yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense, and I liked the universe, and like I said, we'll see this one, so it's not strictly a well, I can't relate to it.
Right.
I'm all about getting representation in there, and there's place space for everybody at the sandbox.
Yeah, yeah.
I just need the sandbox to not have cat turds in it. Um, so I'm yeah, I think we don't know the full plot, right?
Yeah.
We don't know that. This was more of it was a trailer, but it was labeled as like a teaser trailer
Mm.
because you don't see a whole lot of substance to it. But I didn't see anything really more than I saw with like the Black Widow movie. Like when I saw this and she was whipping something around on like a helicopter pad. I was just thinking of the overhead shot from the Black Widow movie with David Harbour and stuff and that snowy base.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
just stuff that I'm like, oh, that looks like this and that looks like this. I want something to look like its own thing.
That's
That's kind of what I want with these things. When you're retelling stories and retelling characters we know, give me something new.
yeah. That scene that you're talking about in the trailer or whatever, it reminded me of The Flash. There's a scene in The Flash where the Batman, Supergirl, and the Flash are all fighting, or the two versions of Flash are fighting on this thing, kind of like the Black Widow scene. It's kind of just like that. And you're right, because I know you haven't seen The Flash yet.
Hmm.
But that's what I was thinking was like, oh, I saw that in The Flash, and or that reminds me of that. And again, it's just like you said earlier, it's kind of the copy and paste kind of way of filmmaking, and I think it speaks to a larger problem, which I probably shouldn't get into right now. But it's that's what I'm yearning for, and that's what I was wanting with the Superman was let's make a more not grounded, but let's make a more just more deep superhero, a Superman, which is he has a lot of things that he had. I mean, he's truth, justice, and the American way. That's hard, that in itself. And I think people want to add on to these things, aliens and this and that, whatever, just to make it a spectacle. But it's like the further away you get from that core thing of, I never lie, I'm always, well, let's test those things. Let's test where do you draw the, like, where, like, are you going to let Lois die because of this or whatever? Let's test you on those things. Let's test Clark Kent and on the things. Is he going to choose Superman? Is he going to choose the easy way and do a Superman thing, or is he going to rely on? Let's just ask those questions in these types of movies. And we're so far away from that now, and it's more of, let's see, how many people can we get in this movie to act like the comic book stuff, which is great. I love that. But let's put a good story behind that too as well. And I think the story part is what's getting away from a lot of these, like James Gunn and Kevin Feige is just, they're just, well, we did it like this. And that was the thing I think with Iron Man was that they didn't really have a recipe to make that popular and great. And so now that it blew up and it was, one of the best superhero movies ever is like, all right, well, let's just do that. And we'll take elements of this and that. And it's like, it's trying to put like the lightning back in the bottle or something, And it's just, you have to kind of take risks. You have to be creative. And hopefully maybe this will be one of those movies, that'll just blow me away and be like, oh, I was so wrong. Cause I'd love to be wrong about it. But from the Superman and then this, it's like, I don't know, James Gunn. I don't know. Yeah.
They say the famous quote, you either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain, right? And that's not just true for physical beings, but it can be for franchises and movies and stories that are being told. And, you start to get too much of what you want. Willy Wonka said, careful, you hear the story about the boy who got everything he wanted. He lived happily ever after. No, he didn't. He got diabetes. His teeth probably fell out from eating too much chocolate, Willie. And this same thing, we're getting what we thought we wanted. We wanted people that loved comics growing up and loved these universes making these movies so that we're like, yeah, this is what I wanted. And I'd take all my play figures and I'd put them all together and I'd have Ninja Turtles fighting Batman. I'd have this and I'd have that. And you just have that all over the place now. And we've gotten what we wanted. It was our monkey paw wish.
Yeah, probably,
and the monkey paw now has turned it around on us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point because, it was going so well, I think, well, at least for Marvel, for about 15 years, or no, about 12 years, I guess. And, after Endgame, I think Endgame was so good. And instead of looking back and going, oh, okay, this is how we built up. I think we talked about this before, but it's like, this is how we built up to Endgame. All right, let's do something similar for the next point. And it was like, nope, let's just do Endgame. Every movie is going to be Endgame now. And that's what I think, Superman was more of just, it wasn't a Superman movie in terms of it was just him. It was all these other people in there. And that's where I kind of get lost in the sauce. It's just like, okay, what are they doing? Why are they here? Okay, what's going on? What? Oh, they're just fighting. Okay, cool. All right, well, oh, here's another fight. And there's no story. It seems like so. Yeah, I mean, hopefully,
One thing,
yeah. Go ahead.
one thing that I think they did well, okay, because I don't want to just
Yeah,
poo-poo on this. One
yeah.
thing I think they did well is I was really happy to see at the end of the trailer that they go learn more about this story here, and they showed the
Oh,
story they're kind of pulling it from in the
yeah.
graphic novel, in the comic, and I think that's great. That's saying, hey, you know what? Here's kind of the source material that was a leaping off point. So go check it out. I love that they're intertwining those things. The paper media, you could still read it on your iPad, of course, but the original paper media and the movie media, and making it so that you know where to find both if you're not a pro. Because I've had things where it's like Doctor Strange. Oh, this story came from this Doctor Strange storyline, or this story came from this Miss Marvel, right? The whole franchise Miss Marvel and the great storyline there in the graphic novel. I love that. I love being able to tie back into it and go, okay, great. I like this. I'm going to read this. Or now I think this is going to look cool. I'm going to get this graphic novel.
Yeah, yeah. I like that too. I think. I hope they do that with more. That'd be excellent. Like especially with the Secret Wars coming out, going over to Marvel, coming out next. Or no, wait, Doomsday and then Secret Wars. But anyways, yeah, it's great to have that tie-in so people know exactly what kind of they're pulling from at least. And there was just some things that I liked about this, which was I liked the way that it looked, even though not the sets per se, but just the way that the lighting and all that kind of stuff made her look really good. And yeah, I mean, I hate to be negative Nancy too. Like it's just was like because I just feel this. I think we were talking about this with Superman. I feel this this kind of feeling of no. Like I just that's like my first thing was like, oh no, and normally that kind of equates for me and it speaks to my issues, I guess, but it goes to me of like, oh no, okay, well then whatever. All right, we lost that one. So
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I guess I won't be excited about that one.
right. And I don't
and I
want to
get,
be like that,
yeah, you don't want to be the old man shaking his fist at the
Yeah,
clouds.
I
You don't
know.
want to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of times you can watch a trailer and go, okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that I see what was going on there.
Yeah.
This,
Or you see what they're trying to do, so you're like, oh,
mhm,
okay, all right, I hope that works. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. So, and I have that a little bit in this movie too, or this trailer is like, well, I want it to do well. I want it to be a good
mhm,
movie, and like you said, I'm going to see it. There's only a handful, like maybe a couple that I haven't seen on the Marvel side that I was just like, no, I'm not seeing that. I
mhm.
have no interest. I think that happened after the She-Hulk, which I didn't love, but I mean, I understood its audience, and it was like, okay, that's just not for me. But it's becoming more of that as these superhero movies come out. It's just like, okay,
Yeah, I unfortunately do think you're gonna get a lot of dudes being like, "Oh, it's Supergirl."
oh
Like,
yeah,
"Oh,
that sucks.
you got Superman. Why do you need Supergirl? Why are we
Yeah,
gonna include everybody?" And
the red
it's
pillars.
yeah, it's a good contrast because, like they say in the trailer, she's like, he's for I see things as they are. Like he sees the good in people, and I see the truth, and that's a great separation between the two of them. And I like that they put that in the trailer so that people aren't just going, "Oh, it's Superman," but
Yeah,
with
with the girl.
tatas, you know.
Yeah. Well, that was one thing I didn't write down. I don't have any notes, but I wrote down or wanted to write down or remember at least that line because that was a great
Hmm.
line, and
Hmm.
I thought, oh, okay, that's how it's going to explain the different kind of ways that they portray themselves, and because I don't, does she even have like an alias, or is she just Supergirl and then she just becomes, she just dresses normal or something, and then because I don't know the lore too much of
Hmm.
the lore. I just know that from what I read and from what I've seen, the Supergirl from '84, I think it was, and And there's a little bit of that, the Easter egg of her part of the city, part of Krypton.
Hmm.
It folds over, or the globe comes over, and then it lifts up, and so that explains how they got away from Krypton. So that's interesting, and I want to see a little more backstory on that, and perhaps that's compelling enough to. And yeah, you're right. It's not because she's a girl, and I think she looks great in the costume. I think
Hmm.
she looks like she fits the part. It's not like a miscast or anything, or as far as I could tell. So that's yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But I just hope it's a good story. That's all. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Hopefully they're not shoehorning stuff in. I know a lot of people are excited to see Lobo on the
Yeah,
big screen, and
yeah,
I'm not a DC guy. I couldn't tell. I know Lobo is an assassin.
yeah. Or
That's like a
bounty hunter
hitman
or
type
something, or
bounty.
galactic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hitman, bounty hunter. So I know he's going out there and killing people.
yeah,
Great, and I know Jason Momoa has wanted to play the role for a long time. So that's great. Usually, when people want to do something like that, they have
yeah.
a lot of passion for it. So hopefully, it's not just shoehorned in there. That actually makes sense in the story to satisfy all those people that have been waiting so long.
Yeah, I think he looks great in the little 1 second cameo that it has in that clip. But yeah, I mean, I think yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna hope and pray. And again, it's not because it's a woman or anything like that. I'm all for it. I just hope it's a good story. That's what I want.
Hmm.
And so it's gonna take a lot, because I think a lot of James Gunn is in what he's trying to make the universe. And he has a distinctive style. His is more, a little more, I don't want to say campy, but it's more silly. It's more comic book, like, I don't know, comic book accurate, I guess, in terms of the look.
Hmm.
But I hope that all the DC movies don't have that look to it. I hope there's it's like the part three of Harry Potter. I don't know. Did you ever watch the Harry Potter
Hmm.
films? So it's like part three. It's like where they take that, not only aesthetically, but like the story wise gets darker, and that's the story. But I mean, the director had his own unique style, and when you watch three and compared to one and two, you're like, wow, this is cool. All right, I can get. It grounded it a little more.
Hmm.
And I just hope that that's kind of what DC does in their universes, have these different types of looks to their films. But I don't think that's part of the plan. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a lot of the same, a lot of the same every time
Yeah.
something new comes out until we get like a Batman or something like that. And then that'll be the gritty one.
Yeah.
But they're to me, they're creating this universe, and I mean, this is going to be the second movie of that universe.
Yeah.
That's so you're going Superman, Supergirl. Like it's like, don't you want to like stretch out a little bit? I get that there hasn't really been a Supergirl movie.
Yeah.
There's been the series, the TV series, right?
Yeah, there was the one with Helen Slater in '84, but that was I just saw a review of that one, and as a kid, I just did not get into it, only because it just seems so far removed from Superman, even though they reference Superman in that movie. But it was Supergirl, but it was like the original script had Superman in it
Hmm.
to introduce her, and then he comes back at the end, kind of was it book ending? I guess book whatever. He's at the beginning and at the end, so it was going to help her to kind of launch the movie, and they ended up cutting that
Mm.
because Chris Reeve didn't. He just didn't have time to do that. So it was like, oh man, you kind of need those things, and I hope that this one around is like more, I don't know, more full, more complete in terms of
Hmm.
the story and the storytelling in it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you had the TV series, the Melissa Benoit, I think her
Hmm.
name was, version that was very popular for multiple seasons, I think.
Yeah, I
So
didn't
that,
watch it, but I was always like, oh, I hope it does well.
mhm. Yeah, so that had a fan base to it. So hopefully they know what they're doing over there. That's why they get paid the big bucks. That's their focus is
Yeah.
on this stuff, and
Yeah.
hopefully that focus is going to pay off for these movies. Well, I think our summary is okay. Great. We'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Not super excited. Old man shaking fists over here.
Now I'll
But what do
take
you
the blame for that one.
Yeah, and hopefully, we'll still see it. It's still going to get our money. My daughter will still probably want the popcorn bucket. So it's going to be fine. It's just like you said, not everything has to be for us, right? And if this is for somebody else, great. But I feel like the aspect of it not being for us is just that we feel like we've seen it before.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of the elements before, and we're like, well, what's new? What's going to draw us in and hook us?
And that's for me, that's the irritation, I guess, or the sad part, because it's like, I like Superman. Let's try to make one with some substance, but it's not for me, but I hope it does well, and I hope it's good. That's what I hope for the most.
Yeah. Let's hope it does well, continues the universe, because we want to see more superhero movies. We're not tired of them as long as they're done well.
Yeah.
As long as they're not shoehorned in to a viewing structure that is very rigid. If we don't get to the point with Marvel where it's like, okay, well, there's these 8 TV shows going on. These 5 over here have nothing to do with the universe, though. So they have their own little universe. I'm looking at you, Netflix. I'm looking at you, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we don't want that. We don't want all the homework. Just give us these characters. Tell us about them right from the jump, like you did in this trailer, that we can tell the difference in what their kind of motive is and who they are. And then we can know what the story is going in. We can jump right in and we can try to enjoy it.
Well, that's the thing with one last thing, really quick, is that I think what we were talking about in the actual review of Superman, I think there was this or not review of Superman, but we were talking about Marvel superheroes at one of our pods. And it was this idea that what's the workup like to the next, like Endgame type of MCU movie? And it just doesn't seem like there's any workup to that. So hopefully that James Gunn and the DC is like working towards something. So that's something that I'm hoping, and I'll keep watching this movie, hoping that it does well, that maybe somewhere down the line, a movie will come out and be like, yes, this is it. This is a good movie that can stand on its own. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's why I keep supporting these movies, even though it's not made for me anymore. And so, yeah, I still love them.
Yeah. Let's get them out there. Let's get them, in front of the eyes of the people that are going to love them.
Yeah.
And the rest of us, let's support them and hope that the next one is for us, and that the one that we're watching, and we're supporting, is one that we can like enough. That's all we need, is to like it enough. Have those elements there, and hopefully we do, and hopefully it's not a copy paste scenario. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you want to comment. What do you give this trailer rating? Are you looking forward to it? As far as a trailer goes, I don't know. I don't think there was a whole lot to grab onto, unless you were a super fan looking for Lobo or something like that. So trailer wise, I'd probably, there wasn't really anything exciting. So I'd give it maybe a 4, just as far as the trailer goes.
I think I'm going to give it a 5, just only because, look, there's other podcasters or channels that will probably do in-depths, Easter eggs, that type of thing. And we're not that channel. We're just more of just giving our opinion about what, moviegoers and superhero films. And that's, so, I mean, just from that standpoint, yeah, I'll give it a 5, just because it looks good. It looks okay. It looks like a movie. It looks like a superhero movie. I'm just waiting for it to wow me. So hopefully it wows me. So, yeah.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments. What's your rating? 1 to 10. Drop it down there. We'd love to hear what your thoughts. If we're completely out of place, tell us to cram it with walnuts. We're happy to hear any opinions, because it's not just our opinions that matter. Everybody, has a say out there. So let us know. And this has been another episode of whatever this is called. Check us out next week. And just remember, we're not mad. We're just disappointed. See you then.